Snowflakes danced in the air, blanketing the world in a serene white embrace. It was a perfect snow day, a picturesque scene outside my window. The allure of staying home cocooned in warmth was irresistible. Little did I know that the tranquility of the day would soon be shattered by a sinister turn of events. As the day wore on, the snowfall intensified, transforming the landscape into an ethereal wonderland. I relished the coziness of my home, wrapped in blankets with a mug of steaming cocoa, watching the winter spectacle unfold outside. Yet as dusk approached, the enchanting snowscape seemed to lose its charm. Shadows lengthened, and an eerie stillness settled over the neighborhood. A peculiar sensation crept up my spine, a feeling of being watched, of unseen eyes peering through the frosted windows. I shrugged it off as a trick of the imagination, the product of a chilling atmosphere, but the feeling persisted, gnawing at the edges of my consciousness. Unease settled within me, an unexplainable dread that hung heavy in the air. The house creaked with the weight of the falling snow, the wind howling through unseen crevices. I tried to distract myself, turning on the TV, but static filled the screen, flickering with distorted images that resembled faces twisted in agony. A shiver ran down my spine as a chill gripped the room. With trembling hands, I reached for my phone to call for help, but the line remained dead, devoid of any signal. Panic welled up within me, the isolation of the snowbound house intensifying the feeling of being trapped. As I moved through the house, shadows seemed to dart from the corner of my eye. Whispers echoed in the halls, faint and indistinct, sending a chill down my spine. I sought refuge in every room, locking doors behind me, but a sense of foreboding lingered. Hours passed in a nerve-wracking blur, each moment stretching into an eternity. I tried to rationalize the strange occurrences, attributing them to the weather's influence on my mind. But deep down, I knew something was terribly wrong. In the dead of night, the house plunged into darkness. The power had failed, leaving me in an abyss of blackness. I fumbled for a flashlight, the beam revealing unsettling shapes cast upon the walls, twisted silhouettes that seemed to writhe and contort. A faint sound echoed from the basement, a rhythmic tapping growing louder with each passing moment. Dread pooled in my stomach as I crept down the stairs, the icy chill of the basement greeting me like an unwelcome embrace. The tapping grew into an ominous rhythm, a haunting melody that reverberated through the walls. Shadows danced in sinister patterns, and a presence, palpable yet unseen, loomed in the darkness. With trembling hands, I flipped the light switch, but the basement remained engulfed in darkness. The tapping intensified, a cacophony of dread that echoed through the house. I turned to flee, but a sudden gust of icy wind slammed the basement door shut, trapping me in the suffocating darkness. The basement door stood immovable, as if locked by an invisible force. Panic surged within me, constricting my chest. I pounded on the door, pleading for release, but my cries echoed unheard in the empty house. The rhythmic tapping crescendoed into a chilling symphony, reverberating off the walls like a haunting melody. Shadows twisted and contorted, their elongated forms converging towards a singular point. A shapeless, ominous silhouette at the basement's heart. Fear paralyzed me as I watched the silhouette take form, morphing into a ghastly figure, a specter draped in tattered garments, its hollow eyes fixed upon me with a malevolent intensity. Desperation consumed me. With a surge of adrenaline, I lunged at the door, pounding it with fervor. Inch by inch, it creaked open, and I darted up the stairs, the haunting symphony echoing in my ears. I raced through the darkened house, the chilling presence hot on my heels. Furniture shifted and warped in my wake, the walls seemingly pulsating with a sinister energy. I dashed toward the front door, hoping for escape, but it slammed shut with a resounding thud, sealing me inside. Trapped in a nightmare, I sought refuge in the attic, barricading myself amidst dusty boxes and forgotten relics. The symphony of dread persisted, an otherworldly chorus that seemed to seep through every crevice. As the night wore on, an oppressive cold descended, freezing the very air around me. I huddled in the corner, the haunting presence looming closer, its chilling breath grazing my neck. In a last-ditch effort, I reached for an old family heirloom, a talisman passed down through generations. Clutching it tightly, I murmured incantations, hoping beyond hope for salvation. A blinding light erupted from the talisman, casting the attic into a radiant glow. The malevolent presence recoiled, shrieking in anguish as if scorched by the light. Shadows dissipated, the haunting symphony fading into a distant echo. When the light faded, I found myself alone, shivering amidst the relics of the attic. Dawn broke through the windows, painting the sky with hues of warmth and safety. With trembling hands, I descended from the attic, the silence of the house echoing louder than any scream. The lingering terror clutched at my chest, a weight that refused to dissipate even in the comforting light of day. As I ventured downstairs, a chilling revelation dawned upon me. The house had changed. Hallways stretched longer, rooms distorted into unfamiliar shapes, and the once familiar paintings on the walls contorted into grotesque depictions. Every step felt like wading through thick, gelid water, as if the very air had turned against me. I tried to open the front door again, but it mocked my attempts, remaining shut against my desperate pleas for freedom. A presence, palpable and suffocating, enveloped me once more. Shadows flickered and danced, coalescing into eerie apparitions that whispered haunting laments. Their spectral forms writhed in a grotesque ballet, encircling me with a foreboding inevitability. With nowhere left to turn, I sought refuge in the cellar, a place I had avoided since the horrors of the basement unfolded. The stairs creaked under my weight, each step echoing through the desolate house like a death knell. The cellar's darkness swallowed me whole as I descended. The air grew thick with a pungent metallic scent, a sickening reminder of something sinister lurking within the depths. As I reached the cellar's floor, an unearthly chill pierced through me, a bone-deep cold that seeped into my very soul. Whispers emerged from the shadows, a cacophony of malevolent voices that echoed ancient curses. In the flickering candlelight, I glimpsed arcane symbols etched onto the cellar walls, pulsating with an eerie luminescence. The symbols seemed to writhe, their twisted forms taking on a life of their own, binding me within their eldritch embrace. Desperation clawed at my mind as I realized the cellar was a labyrinth, its walls shifting and rearranging themselves, trapping me in an endless maze of corridors that led to nowhere. The air grew thick with a stifling silence, punctuated only by my erratic breaths. A shadowy figure materialized at the cellar's center, a spectral entity draped in veils of darkness, its eyes blazing with an unholy fervor. The entity beckoned, its ethereal fingers tracing patterns in the air, a seductive yet horrifying invitation. My heart pounded in terror, every fiber of my being screaming for escape. Frozen by fear, I stood at the mercy of the malevolent entity. Its voice, a chorus of tormented souls, echoed through the cellar, promising both salvation and damnation. Summoning every ounce of courage, I clutched the talisman, the only beacon of hope amidst the suffocating darkness. With trembling hands, I chanted the incantations passed down by generations, the words resonating with a desperate plea for deliverance. A blinding light erupted from the talisman, piercing the oppressive darkness. The entity shrieked, its form contorting in anguish as if repelled by the radiant energy. Shadows convulsed and writhed, clawing at the cellar's walls, struggling against the impending banishment. The cellar trembled, the walls reverberating with the force of a cataclysmic event. The air crackled with raw energy, a tumultuous battle between light and darkness, salvation and damnation. With a deafening roar, the entity dissipated into a tempest of shadows, vanishing into the ethereal abyss. The cellar fell silent, the once constricting darkness replaced by a serene calmness. Breathless and shaken, I found myself standing in the cellar's center, the talisman emitting a soft, reassuring glow. The ancient symbols on the walls ceased their pulsating dance, their power quelled by the talisman's light. Exhausted yet relieved, I ascended from the cellar, the house returning to its familiar state, a sanctuary free from the malevolent presence that had plagued it. The front door swung open effortlessly, welcoming the warm embrace of daylight. Stepping outside, I felt the sun's gentle rays caress my skin, a comforting contrast to the suffocating darkness I had escaped. As I stepped into the sunlight, a sense of relief washed over me, a breath of fresh air after the suffocating ordeal. But even amidst the comforting warmth, a lingering unease lingered, an unsettling feeling that the malevolent force hadn't been fully vanquished. The house stood serene, its facade unchanged, yet I couldn't shake the haunting sensation that something remained within its walls, a residual echo of the entity's lingering presence. I turned to glance at the cellar window, half expecting to see a faint shadow or a spectral apparition lurking within. But the glass reflected only the tranquil landscape, devoid of any ominous figures. With a heavy heart, I left the house behind, the memories of the harrowing experience etched deep within my psyche. The snow had ceased, the world now basked in the serenity of a winter afternoon, yet the tendrils of fear continued to coil around my thoughts. As I drove away, a glance in the rearview mirror sent a shiver down my spine. A faint, almost imperceptible shadow seemed to flicker in the window of the cellar, a chilling reminder that some horrors linger beyond sight. Haunted by the uncertainty of what truly transpired, I found myself questioning whether the malevolent entity had truly been banished or if it lay dormant, waiting for another unwitting soul to cross its path. The unease persisted, a lingering doubt that whispered of unfinished business, a chilling uncertainty that made me question if the nightmare had truly ended, or if it was merely the prelude to an even darker tale yet to unfold. And as I drove farther from the house, a solitary snowflake drifted lazily onto the windshield, a haunting reminder that some nightmares never truly fade, but instead lie dormant, waiting for the opportune moment to awaken once more. With a heavy heart and a sense of foreboding, I ventured into the uncertain horizon, haunted by the unsettling knowledge that the malevolent presence might have simply bided its time, waiting for another snow day to cast its chilling veil upon unsuspecting souls.
Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey through the unknown. If you enjoyed this spine-tingling tale, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. Your support fuels our passion to unearth more terrifying stories. Stay tuned for more bone-chilling content, and until next time, may your nights be filled with thrilling nightmares. Subscribe, like, and embrace the darkness with us.